Alright guys, so take a look at this. This is the first time ever on a Rocket 3. Take a look at this beast. As a matter of fact, they were a little hesitant as far as letting people just take this out. It's a self-guided tour. This is the first time ever on a Rocket 3. And I want to try it out. Let's take it for a ride here. Alright, wow. First impression. It is wide. Look at how wide that is. Really big tank. Look at the kickstand. It's like an aluminum kickstand. And you got the foot pegs almost like a cruiser position. Way up there. Wow. That is really, really comfortable. I'm actually 6'4", about 230 pounds. So this is really nice. Let's take a look at the mirrors. Well, can't really see them until you get on the road. All right. So first thing, turn it on, you hit this button here, let it fire up the display here. I think let's see, maybe all right, it's not firing up. I might have to get some help for this.
And there you have it.
All right.
It must have just got bumped when you got wind in your pocket.
Oh, okay.
Start button 2, right, all the way down.
Okay.
Clutch in. And then when you come back, you run that all the way forward. That'll kill all the electronics. You don't have to ever pull the key out of your pocket.
Okay.
So don't forget to get the key back when you come back.
Okay.
Occasionally somebody will walk up and
yeah. Okay.
Enjoy the ride.
All right. Thanks. All right. So there you have it. It looks like the key fob turned off in my pocket, which is pretty wild. All right, so we're going to try to take this out for a ride here. Let's see. I always want to check the clutch. It looks like about a finger and a half on the clutch. Pretty nice. Got the brakes up here. Put it in gear. All right, let's take it out. Looks like we're clear. All right. Nice. All right, Rocket 3. All right. This is pretty firm as far as the suspension. Pretty firm, I'd say. I don't think this is meant to be off-road. Definitely a road bike. First impression, I'm pretty upright on this. It's a pretty upright stance. This thing is pretty wild. I was actually looking at the tires on this and it looked like it had like sport bike tires on it, so I'm thinking this has sport bike characteristics. Should be pretty interesting. Let's see if I can figure out the route here. So the speedometer is pretty interesting. Let's see if I can figure out where to go here. All right. Demo route. Yes, we're following the yellow signs. So this is a pretty wild display on here. It's interesting. It has the like a big arm for the tachometer, which is pretty wild. All right, so we're actually cutting through here for the demo route. This is pretty wild. All right, slow speed stability, not bad at all. Pulling right up. All right, so we're going to turn right here. All right, so this thing is in sport mode. All right, so I'm going to close up here. Wow. The gearing's pretty interesting. It seems like, you know, some of your sport bikes are geared to where you really have to wind them out. And it's kind of a let me see if I can figure out where the blinkers are. All right, let's see. All right, pull up to the stop sign. It always takes a few minutes to get used to a new bike, but yeah, it seems like even in first gear you can go pretty fast in first gear. Or, you know, some of them are I don't know what this guy's doing here. All right, I guess we're going. So let's see. Let's see how fast we can go in second gear. Whoa! That takes your breath away. Oh, the demo route's right there. I just missed the demo route. All right, we're gonna have to turn around. Wow, that takes your breath away. Wow, this thing has got some crazy power. I would say it's almost like a cross between like a cruiser and a sport bike, which is pretty interesting. It's not really that sport bike like where you have to really rev it out. So it does have a lot of low-end torque, but once you hit that high-end torque, the high RPMs, it really cranks, which is kind of crazy. All right, so I'm gonna have to turn around right here. See if I can turn around. Turning is pretty good. Pretty confident in the turn. Not bad. Very stable around the corners. All right, let's see if I can stay on the route. This thing just like flies out from under you. It's unbelievable. This is a really fun bike. It's like a rocket, I guess. That's why they call it a rocket. Wow. All right, let's see if I can stay on the route. Really stable. Super stable around the corners. All right, so it has a kind of like a turn signal, like a Honda, where it's like an all-in-one button right here, left and right. The mirrors, pretty good. Almost like Harley Davidson mirrors, I'd say, which I really like. Look at that. You can go like 40 miles an hour in first gear, going up to like 4,000 RPM. Wow. Huh. That's an interesting gear ratio. It seems like there's a lot of power through the whole range. It's definitely a very upright stance. Still pretty firm on the highway, but not like teeth jarring, I guess. Wow, this bike is amazing. Really amazing. All right, I do not want to miss my sign here as far as where I'm turning. Seems very stable. I would say it's a little sluggish to turn. You can definitely tell it feels like it has really big fat front tire on it. You know, some of them are with the thinner front tires like really twitchy. This one is like really solid, but it takes a little bit to actually get it to move. Well, I don't know. Now that I'm kind of flicking it around a little bit, it seems like it'd be pretty easy to get it to move. All right, here's our sign. The demo route. I don't believe we have a stop sign here. All right. Wow. This thing just jumps. It's unbelievable. I can see why they didn't want everyone to ride this. They kind of had it tucked in the back, which is pretty amazing. So now that I've been riding for a few minutes, 5 minutes or so, the seat is super comfortable, very comfortable. It just wraps right around me. And the funny thing is when you first sit on it, it feels like the seat's pretty firm, but it's just, it's really, I guess, ergonomic, which is interesting. You can put your knees right around the gas tank and kind of hold on for dear life. Of course, this is in sport mode. You also have road mode, and you have rain mode. So the different modes, it would perform differently, I'm sure. Sometimes there's a huge difference between the different modes, and most of your Triumphs there is a huge difference. So as far as the little wind deflector, it's doing a pretty good job of keeping it off my belly, I guess. Maybe off my chest. but it definitely feels like I'm in full wind. It definitely feels open. Kind of the other thing that's interesting about this bike is it definitely feels like I'm up on top of the bike, not necessarily like down in the bike like a lot of your cruisers. This one feels like I'm more up on top of it. Not too bad to where I'm like not in control of the bike, but it does have a good stance to it. And it feels like a really beefy bike. It just feels nice, which is pretty awesome. You know, for me, you know, I'm 6'4", so trying to figure out the a bike that'll actually fit me is kind of the hard part. A lot of bikes, I'd say most bikes feel really small. So this one feels nice. But I would think even if you're a small rider, you could probably ride this one too. So let's see, here's our sign right here. We're on track. We do not want to get lost. Wow. This bike is so fun. It's unbelievable. As far as reading the display, there is a little bit of glare, but it's not bad. Alright, so we're going, let's pick it up a little bit. We're going 63. Wow, fourth gear. Wow, look at all these gears. Wow, I'm going, this is pretty crazy. Check this out. I'm going 60 in 6th gear and I'm like up 2,000 RPM. That's pretty wild. So you could go really super fast on this thing. Demo route, we're on track. Whew. I thought maybe I missed a sign looking at the display. That's the one thing on these demo rides, is you have to really be careful you don't get off route, because I have no clue where I'm at. So yeah, going it's kind of interesting because on the bumps you can kind of feel the bumps, but it seems pretty smooth on the highway. Like it wouldn't really bother you that much. You can definitely feel, oh, I don't know, if you had really rough roads, it might be a problem. But yeah, it's not too bad. Well, maybe I take that back. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. You definitely want some decent roads for this bike. Yeah, not a whole lot of forgiveness on the bumps. This is kind of a rough road too. And kind of the funny thing is about this bike is I'm going like 45 and it feels like I'm going, like I'm just creeping along, like I'm barely moving, which is pretty incredible. You know, some bikes you get on the bike and you're going 35, it feels like you're going 90. This one's just the opposite. This is probably one of the most extreme cases that I've seen, where you feel like you're going so much slower than you actually are. I was going 60 and it felt like I was going like 40 maybe, which is interesting, especially since the suspension is kind of rough on the highway. Usually with a really rough suspension like that, they actually have a little more, a feeling of more instability, I'd say. But yeah, just sitting on this bike, it just feels like a big bike. All right, we got through the construction here. Let's see if we can stay on track. Whoa. I'm for sure, I'm 100% sure I could pick up the front tire on this easily. I am barely on the gas and this thing just takes off. It's unbelievable, really quite unbelievable. The power, I don't even think you could use all the power on this bike. It has so much power. It's unbelievable. And kind of the cool thing is that the seat really kind of scoops you in, so you don't feel like you're gonna fly off the bike, which is really nice. Kind of like hugs your rear end to give you a lot of stability. And look at this, we're getting a lot of crosswind in here. It's like moving my helmet, there's so much crosswind, and this bike is just solid, just super solid, like impervious to gusts of wind. I don't know, it doesn't really feel like it weighs that much, but it's really one of the most planted bikes that I've been on. Wow. This thing is crazy. This is a really fun bike. Wow. I can see why they kind of want to reserve this to the expert riders only. That is, it just kind of takes your breath away every time you give it gas. So as far as the sound on this bike, you can definitely hear the exhaust sound. It has a really nice sound to it, almost like a low growl to it, which is pretty nice. So when you're riding down the road, you're giving it gas. When you give it gas, you can actually hear that growl. When you're just kind of cruising, you can't really hear it. It's like almost silent. It's a really nice mix between kind of the growl and the acceleration, and cruising down the road where you really can't hear it much, which is pretty awesome. I'd say it's probably the perfect exhaust for any motorcycle. Wow, I really like this bike. How much is this bike? I might have to buy one of these. This is the only, I'd say the only con is the suspension. Where I live, it's all dirt roads and potholes. This probably wouldn't do that good on dirt roads and potholes. But on the highway, this thing is unbelievable. Unbelievable. This thing is so fun. So as far as heat coming off the engine, I could feel maybe a little bit on my right leg. I'd say more than any Harley Davidson I've ever been on, but it's not bad. I've been on some bikes that are just like cook you out. They're just so hot, but this one's not bad so far. Let's see how it is when we finish. I don't think it's going to be bad. And this one, you can kind of move your legs away from the some of the bikes you're kind of stuck with your legs right up against the hot engine, and sometimes it's really hot. But this one's pretty good. But yeah, on the highway, this thing would rock. This thing is amazing. This would be good like on a racetrack too. This is more like a racetrack bike. For cruising the highway, you could really cruise. It's pretty amazing. I'd say pretty much at all speeds, super stable. It's just super locked in. As far as you know, any vibration or anything like drifting at the handlebars or anything, it's just like super locked to the road. It's pretty amazing. As far as a little buzziness, maybe a little buzziness in the handlebars, just a little bit. Let's see. I want to pull in the clutch. That buzziness is pretty much all from the engine. Yeah, this is definitely a keeper. If I bought this bike, I probably wouldn't sell it. It's really awesome. So yeah, the blinkers, to turn them off, they do have auto canceling blinkers on this, but to turn them off, you just push the control with your thumb and it turns off the blinkers. This bike is something else. This bike just makes me smile. It's a pretty awesome bike. I just can't believe how fast it is. I think the thing I like about this, not only the power, but the fact that you can go really fast without having to shift all the time. You know, first, second gear, you can go super fast. You don't have to, you know, some of your sport bikes, you're shifting and shifting and shifting. Where this one, you don't have to shift hardly at all. And the gear ratio, this one, I think it could go really fast. So as far as driving on this gravel, it's not very good. It's not very stable on the gravel, I'd say that. Not at all. Yeah, this is definitely not an off-road bike. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Let's see, I think I may be able to go around the other way maybe, and then come back this way, I think. Yeah, definitely not good for this kind of a road right here. It's kind of an off-road. But yeah, this thing is pretty awesome. All right, so I'm just gonna park it right here and then get some B-roll on this. But yeah, let's see how easy it is to put in neutral. Goes right into neutral, perfect. And then turn it off. You just kill it right there, I believe. Maybe it's this one. That one. All right, you gotta hit the right button to turn it off. All right. All right, so there you go. That is the 2023 Triumph Rocket 3 GT. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.